You have spent your entire life feeling like an outsider, looking at a world that doesn't quite make sense to you. And today, that feeling finally finds its purpose. There is a weight in the air right now that most people are too distracted to notice. A subtle shift in the frequency of existence that signals the closing of one door and the terrifying, beautiful opening of another. You are standing on the threshold of January 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and if you treat these days as nothing more than a transition on a calendar, you are missing the single most important alignment of your journey. This is not about resolutions or fleeting bursts of motivation that wither by February. This is about a prophetic intersection of time and spirit, that daemon, your absolute presence. Why does it feel like everything is reaching a breaking point? Why do you feel an internal pressure to shed the skin of who you used to be? It is because the universe has stopped asking you to change and has begun demanding. If you ignore the quiet, persistent pull at your soul during these 3 specific days, you are choosing to stay in a cycle that was meant to break years ago. Think about the silence of the early morning on the first day of the year, while the rest of the world is recovering from excess. You are being called to a different kind of awakening. The Stoics understood that time is the only thing we truly own, yet it is the thing we squander most recklessly. You have been waiting for a sign, a moment where the path becomes clear, and here it is, wrapped in the stillness of these 3 days. The first day is the death of the old self. It is the moment you look at your failures, your hypocrisy, and your shadows not with shame, but with the cold, hard gaze of a sculptor looking at a block of marble. You cannot build the new version of yourself until you stop clinging to the ghost of the person who let you down. Why do you keep carrying the heavy luggage of people who no longer speak your na? Why do you keep feeding the habits that make you feel small? On January 1st, the mandate is clear: surrender the baggage. If you do not, you will drag that weight into a year that requires you to be light and fast. By the 2nd day, the pressure begins to build. This is where the world starts to creep back in, where the old temptations and the familiar whispers of tomorrow start to echo. But you are a chosen soul, which means you no longer have the luxury of procrastination. The 2nd D, A, is about the mastery of the mind. It is the realization that your thoughts are either your architects or your jailers. Every time you allow a reactive emotion to dictate your actions, you are handing over your power to the chaos of the world. R. You tired of being a leaf blown about by the wind of other people's opinions? The 2nd day demands that you anchor yourself. It is the day of discipline, where you decide that your word to yourself is the highest law in your life. If you say I'll rise, you rise. If you say you will be silent, you do not speak. This is where the internal war is won, not through grand gestures, but through the quiet, relentless refusal to betray your own potential. Then comes the 3rd day, the final seal, this prophetic window. This is the day of integration, where the insights of the previous 48 hours must become bone and muscle. If you make it to the 3rd day with your resolve intact, you have crossed a bridge that most people never even find. This is the day where the spiritual meets the practical. It is not enough to feel inspired, you must be transformed. The regret of ignoring these days isn't just a temporary sadness. It is the soul-crushing realization later in the year that missed the window of grace. Have you ever felt that hollow ache in your chest when you realize you've let another opportunity slip through your fingers? That is the price of ignoring the call. The universe does not wait for those who are perpetual getting ready. It moves for those who are ready now. You often wonder why life feels like an uphill battle, but have you considered that you are fighting against the very current intended to carry you? These 3 days represent a cosmic reset, a moment where the veil is thin and your intentions carry a weight they won't have again for a long time. This is why you feel so restless. This is why you feel a sense of urgency that you can't quite explain to anyone else. They see a holiday, you see a portal. They see a party, you see a reckoning. To be chosen is not a title of ego, it is a burden of responsibility. It means you are held to a higher standard. It means your mistakes cost more and your growth means more. When you ignore the significance of this time, you are essentially telling the source of your existence that you are content with mediocrity. But we both know that isn't true. If you were content with a small life, you wouldn't be here, listening to these words, feeling that fire start to burn in the pit of your stomach. What would happen if you actually gave yourself permission to be powerful? What would happen if, for these 3 days, you operated from a place of total self-control? Imagine the version of you hat doesn't fold under pressure, the version that isn't seeking validation from a screen or a stranger. That person exists inside you, buried under layers of social conditioning and fear. The prophetic nature of January 1st, 2nd, and 3rd is that they act as a solvent, dissolving those layers if you are willing to step into the heat. Most people will spend these days in a daze, reacting to the world around them. You must be the one who acts. You must be the one who sits in the silence and listens to the instructions being whispered to your spirit. These are not just dates, they are a command. The world is designed to keep you asleep. It wants you focused on the trivial, the loud, and the temporary. It wants you to forget that you are a sov, rain being with the ability to shape your reality through the lens of your perception. But Marcus Aurelius reminded us that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. What color is your soul right now? Is it gray with the dust of the past? Or is it starting to glow with the light of a new discipline? The regret of missing this moment is the regret of staying gray. It is the tragedy of a life lived at half capacity. You have been given a gift, a specific window of time where the moment of the universe is behind you. If you turn your back on it, you are choosing to walk alone. As you move through these 3 days, pay attention to the coincidences. Pay attention to the thoughts that repeat. Pay attention to the people who suddenly feel out of alignment with your future. This is the sorting process. You are being prepared for a level of influence and peace that you haven't yet experienced, but you cannot enter that space as the person you are today. You must be refined. You must be willing to let go of the comforts that have become your cages. Is your comfort worth the sacrifice of your destiny? Is your fear more important than your calling? The clock is moving, not just in seconds, but in the unfolding of your fate. When the sun sets. On the 3rd day, a seal will be placed on the energy you have cultivated. You will either step into the rest of the year as a master of your internal world or as a servant to the external one. There is no middle ground. The Prophetic why is not about what will happen to the world. It is about what will happen to you. It is about whether you will finally answer the knock at the door, or if you will keep pretending you don't hear it. Do not look for external confirmation. Do not ask for permission to take your life seriously. The authority lies within you. The power is in your hands, in your breath, and in your silence. These 3 days are a mirror. If you look closely, you will see not just who you are, but who you are meant to be. The regret of ignoring this is the only debt you can never pay back. Stand in your center, quiet your mind, feel the ancient strength of those who came before you, those who understood that life is not something that happens to you, but something that happens through you. You are the vessel. You are the point of impact. Ensure that when the history of your life is written, these 3 days are noted as the moment everything changed. Not because the world changed, but because you did. Now, go into the silence. Close the door to the noise. Commit to the discipline of your own spirit. Look at the horizon of your new life and realize that the only thing standing between you and your highest self is the decision you make in this very here. RT Beat. Become the master you were born to be. The time is now. It has always been now.